Hey guys, it's Alabama Deep. I'm coming back at you. So, okay, working on my uploading of my videos today. Uh, while we are doing that, I wanted to show you my finished Bulova President. It has been polished. It has been fine-tuned. It is ready to go. It has a nice polished gold case. I'm very, very pleased with the way this one turned out. Also, I finished polishing the crystal on my Wadsworth, and I went ahead and I polished the gold fill on this as well. This has turned out very beautiful. It's going to be great to leave in my collection along with my Bulova Presidential. So we're going to do a video today, and I got my sanding sticks in from Amazon. They are here now. And so I thought I would take a moment to show you how I polish a crystal and how I polish my gold plate without removing too much material. And I will do so now. I am trying to locate one of the watches that I was working on. I had a couple sitting over here that I was working on. Ah, they're in my little bag here. So let me go ahead and let me dig out one of the ones that needs the most work, and here it is right here. Be this one right here. We can look at the crystal on this. Oh my gosh. We can just zoom in on that just a little bit, shall we? Let's come in. Heavily scratched up. We're going to need to do a lot on this case, a lot more elsewhere. So let me get into it. Let me put on my optics and let's dive a little bit deeper into this particular watch. I would also like to go ahead and, if I may, put it on. Yes, there we go. That way we can all see a little bit. Let's just take a look-see at this. Let's see how bad that crystal is. Very scratched up. Wow. This is the poster child for watch. What the hell is on this? There appears to be tape on it. This is a Hamilton. Look how disgusting that looks. That is just blah. Okay, so let's get a little bit closer. We are missing hands on this other movement. Oh my. Take it out all the way. Let me have a little closer look at you, please, if I may. That's nice movement. Hamilton. It is 17 joules. Will it run? Oh, that entire piece just comes right out. The stem just comes completely out. Not really sure about this one, guys. Let's just take a little bit closer look. I would say that this has a broken mainspring by the looks and sound of it. Definitely we're going to have to work on this and break it down totally. I do not think I have a replacement spring for this. Let me see if I can get some type of model number off of this somewhere, somehow. Get my optics on a little bit better. Let me dive in a little bit closer. A 987A. 987A. That's a very nice movement in there. So we're going to be looking into a 987A mainspring for this watch. Go ahead and leave it like that. Go ahead and put the dial in there. Let us go ahead, let's focus on our main objective at the moment, and that is how are we going to clean up this watch case. And crystal, oh my goodness, it is scratched to pieces. So let me start out with, I'm going to go ahead and just wet it and see if I can get some of this adhesive off. It looks like that there is a lot of adhesive on here, and that case is totally scratched to heck and back. So let me do that first. I don't want to do too much to it. It's very sticky, I see. I don't think I really have anything I could use to get that stickiness off. So let me just use a little bit of spit and shine, literally. Since I do not have my water back here, I was not preparing for that 100%. So, okay. This is basically what we got. There is still some stickiness on there. Possibly a little bit more of the old spit and shine. I should have come prepared with a little more water, but I had none. Okay, so we can definitely see that that's going to leave a mark. There are scratches on this case. Clean it up just a little bit more. Let's see what we have going on here. There are indeed some scratches. Let's see what it's going to look like over the dial. That's still not going to be good enough. We can definitely see the indentations on here. We need to take care of that. So we're going to proceed with my sanding of the crystal. I'm going to show you guys what I do for that. Here we go. Let's see how that looks over that. That looks not really too much better, as we do see that there are indeed lots of little scratches on this particular crystal. We go ahead and remove it from its case. That is fine. Clean this up just a little bit more. And we can put that back over there. Definitely looking, we can see some scratches that are still going to be there on this particular crystal. So let me zoom in and let me show you what we're going to do with that. So I want to adjust my camera. Let me see how it looks. From y'all's way, it is not terribly too scratched, but you can definitely see that there is scratching going on. So, maybe this is probably not the best example, So let me choose another watch crystal, and we will come back to this Hamilton when I order its mainspring. Let me get it locked up, and had such high hopes to have the Hamilton up and going, but that does not seem to be the case. So we're now going to be looking at the Timex. You see the Timex, it has scratches all over it. You can noticeably see that. And you can also see the bezel itself. It does have some scratching on it, but we're not going to be focusing on the bezel at the moment. We're going to be looking at this crystal, and I'm going to show you how I can take care of that relatively easy. And what I do in this particular case, and moving things aside, let me see if I did in fact bring my tape. I didn't. That's okay though. Don't really need it. I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to go ahead and focus on the case, on the edges. We can see that it does have some dirt around it, a little bit of arm cheese. I'm using a toothpick. I do buy toothpicks. I use my toothpicks for my scraping to get the arm cheese off of the watch. Okay, so we got some of that arm cheese off. It's looking a little bit better, but we want to focus on the crystal itself. Now we see the crystal. I've already shown you it is scratched up to heck and back. So let me zoom out just a little bit, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this to make it better. Okay, so I have ordered off of eBay. I ordered my sanding sticks. My sanding sticks come in 150 grit. They go all the way up to 8,000 grit. And what I do is I will start with a very, very harsh level at about 200. Let me see if I can find my 200. It's 180. Let me see if I do have my 200. There's 80. I don't think I need anything that harsh. So let me have a look. There's 400. There's 1,000. There's 800. Let me continue as I go. I guess we'll start out with my 800. Now my 800 grit, I am going to go ahead and start. And you can take your time with this. And I'll point out, if this was a gold-filled watch, I would either remove the crystal or I would put painter's blue tape around the bezel itself so I would not scratch up the gold fill on it. But this being a silver chrome Timex, I am simply going to work with it as it is attached to the case. I can simply go around it like this. I do not have to worry about touching the case itself. As the crystal does sit up a bit higher than the case. As everybody can see, I am totally scratching this crystal up. It is fogging over. That is how it is supposed to look in the beginning process of the crystal restoration. I'll also go ahead and say it is kind of cool doing it this way because the sides are left somewhat foggy in a way, barely, and it kind of adds a deeper depth effect, so I do like that. And if you are just now getting into this and you are unsure how to remove a crystal from a bezel, that's fine, we'll just do it this way. But much later in the videos, I will show you the proper tools that I have bought to be able to remove the crystal from the case. Sometimes you can just pop them right out. But let's just say that you have a watch, you have it on your timograph, it's running the way it's supposed to, which I have that happen on my eBay buys recently. And I did not want to take the entire movement out of the case because I was limited on time. So what could I possibly do? Well, I could do this right here. Now, as I said, if you have one with a gold bezel, ideally it is recommended to remove it or tape it off so you do not remove any of that plate or fill that's on that watch. It's very hard to put it back the way it was from factory if it's in good condition, and you'll be devaluing your watch. So I have now removed some of the material, but I'm not satisfied just yet with that. These scratches are pretty deep. I feel that's more even right here. I have done so in a way it's not damaging the case. As a matter of fact, my stick has not touched it yet. And so now we have a scratched up crystal. It is fogged over. I'm wondering if I have removed enough material at this point to get rid of those deep, deep scratches. So let me go just a little bit more with this. I feel that this is probably about right. Let me go ahead and let me wipe it off and put it back down. I think that will be a good coverage right there. So when you want to buy your sanding sticks, they start with 800, they go to 400, and it's all based on that number right there. The lower the number, the more grainy it will be. So you want to take steps with this. You want to start, I started with 180. I see the watch is now wanting to work a little bit. My next step is I want to move up to the next less grit, which I had 180. Now I have 400. So let me go ahead and I'll start with my 400. And what you're doing with this is you're removing the material from the crystal, so it will match that of the scratches that have been put onto the surface. As you remove that material, it will thin out. And as you use higher grit, it will make the scratches smaller and smaller until you have a nice polished crystal once again. And I'm going to show you my version of Polywatch. Okay, Polywatch is expensive. Polywatch costs money, more so than other polishes out there. And I have discovered one for you can use on watches, but it's meant for automotives. But I received a tip on that and tried it, and it works nearly as good as Polywatch, and it costs a fraction of the price, and you get a large amount for that price. So now we're at 600. Okay, and then there we are. We're getting a little more and more and more where we need to be. If you notice the fogging's starting to disappear just a little bit as we move along. Let's move up to 800 grit, as you can see on here.